good morning, Lydia. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Selma, and thank you for having me.
Just to understand, let's just look at how this initiative came about, how this idea came about in the first place.
Thank you once again. The survey was prompted by a need for accurate data on the operations of shebeens in Windhoek. And it follows a council resolution that was taken in 2021 that has called for a formal study to assess the pros and cons of allowing shebeens in operate in residential areas. You might have remembered during that year, it almost caused a commotion where the members of the public were somehow up in arms as to say, no, they want to close our shebeens and so on and so on. So over the years, we have then received also a growing concern from various stakeholders, both the residents and the operators of the shebeens, and it became clear that the research-based approach was needed for us to get informed insight into what we say is the location, the operation, and the socio-economic impact of shebeens in order for us as a city to collect that, to have a proper baseline and information that we can use to formulate regulatory framework and subsequently the potential formulation of an inclusive shebeen policy for our city. So in general, we are looking at the collection of data on where the shebeens are located, how they are operating, and what socio-economic role they are playing in our community. And also that information will help us to formulate now those required regulatory frameworks, especially the shebeen policy that we need to have an inclusive one for that matter.
I'm glad you gave that extensive understanding, because also just looking at the survival means of these businesses. But will the shebeen survey impact the shebeen businesses in any way? And also just given the pros and cons of these operations?
No.
Okay.
The aim is not to penalize anyone, but to actually understand the sector better. The data we gather will help us to shape an inclusive policy that supports compliance and also improve community safety and enhance urban planning. So ultimately, we want to help operators move towards the formalization in a supportive and structured way, because at the moment we have all sorts of shebeens operating everywhere in various land zones, land use with the city that are zoned differently. Can be zoned residential, it can be business, can be institutional. You have shebeens almost everywhere, but that's not how it should be. So we need also the operators to understand the requirements of the law when it comes to now those regulatory frameworks that I was talking about. And it's really important that we get cooperation from the operators, their neighbors, and their customers when we are doing this survey, because the information we are getting is, as I mentioned, it's not to penalize anyone, but it will give us a better insight into how we are going to formulate this framework that is going to guide the operations of the shebeens.
Absolutely.
So no one should be worried to be fearful of supporting the enumerators in any way, because we are not there to go against you or to look to be going after you. We just want the information to understand your operations better and to come up with proper regulatory framework that are going to serve all of us better.
Absolutely, that is quite clear. Now, I understand the municipality's role in this particular survey, but maybe just give us a breakdown, the role of NUST in this particular survey, Lydia.
First and foremost, it's important to mention that City of Windhoek and NUST have an existing cooperation agreement, or let's say a memorandum of agreement that was signed, and as a key research partner, they are providing us with technical expertise in designing and conducting the survey. Their involvement also ensures that the process is academically rigorous and follows ethical standards. And they will help us with the field data collection, interviews, focus groups, discussions, and they're also going to assist us with the analysis of the findings. So they are very, very key in this survey. As a key research partner, definitely we cannot do without them at this stage. Therefore, we really appreciate them being on board based on, obviously, our formal relationship that has already been established through a memorandum of understanding.
Right. Now Lydia, we do know that, such initiatives, obtaining data, can be quite a challenge or a struggle. How does this partnership aim to navigate around these particular challenges?
Well, we are hoping that the information sharing and awareness, like what we are doing now on TV, and we are also busy doing that on radio and other platforms, will help us to ease the process. Some of the challenges we know that we will experience is that it may include the reluctance from the unlicensed operators to participate, community mistrust, as well as misinformation about the purpose of the survey. And this misinformation has already started. People are already telling each other that we are here to come in a closed business that is not registered and so on. But we are addressing this through this public engagement and transparently communicating the purpose of this survey. To make it clear that it's not an enforcement campaign, it's about informing future policy. We need information to inform future policy. And those that are doing misinformation, please excuse us for at this time around, because we don't have enough time. The survey starts now in June until September. So if 1 minute lost without getting a response or a participant to participate is 1 minute too many, and we therefore need to really work together. So yes, we don't want any misinformation or mistrust created in this process, because Council has gave us a mandate to get what we call to get a research-based approach to get this information. We are not mandated to come and close down business or to get details of those that are not registered. But the outcome will definitely be beneficial to both business, registered and unregistered ones, as well as the operators and their customers.
Just finally, before we let you go, Lydia, how will this numerators be identified actually?
Okay, the enumerators can be identified because they will be, they will be properly dressed to indicate that they are doing this survey or the Shebeen survey. They will also, the supervisor will also have vehicles marked clearly City of Windhoek or NUST, because this is a joint operation that we are doing with NUST. As well as the enumerator. The identification details of the enumerators will be visible to indicate that this is a person is Lydia Amuntenya doing a survey, Shebeen survey on behalf of the City of Windhoek, and this is her details, and you can confirm. But we know previous experiences taught us that other people with other intentions also make use of this opportunity to come in. So please, you can verify this, and you can always contact our customer contact center for us to verify that indeed the people that are approaching your Shebeens are doing the survey from us. We are not asking any money, nor any form of payment. So if somebody comes asking you to pay or for some sort of favor, already know that that is not from City of Windhoek and NUST.